Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala khatamin nabiyyin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, amma ba'd. فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال الله تعالى في سورة الأعراف: قال ادخلوا في قد خلت من قبلكم من الجن والإنس في النار كلما دخلت أمة لعنت أختها حتى إذا اداركوا فيها جميعا قالت أخراهم لأولاهم ربنا هؤلاء أضلون فآتهم عذابا ضعفا من النار قال لكل ضعف ولكن لا تعلمون. Translation: He will say, enter into the fire and join the nations of jinns and humans who passed away from before you. Every time a nation enters, it will curse its sister nation until when they had overtaken one another all into it. Last of them will say about the first of them, our Rabb, they had misled us, give them double punishment of fire. He will say, for each is double punishment, but you do not know. In the previous ayah, we studied that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about those people who forged lies about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and who rejected His verses, and these people will find out their ultimate result at the time of death, and they will realize that they are going to be in the hellfire, and at that time they will also testify against themselves, and they would admit that they were the disbelievers and they were the wrongdoers. In today's ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will order these nations of disbelievers to enter in the hellfire, to join the nations of jinns and humans who had passed away before them, and one after another all the nations of disbelievers will enter in the hellfire, and then the nation who entered later in the hellfire will curse the nation who had entered before them in the hellfire, or who died before them in the world, and they would say that we are in the hellfire because of these people who came earlier than us in the world, and they were misguided and they misguided us as well, and we followed them. And they will request Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, since they misguided us, give them the double punishment of fire. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say that you all will get the double punishment of fire, and this is the horrific punishment. One important point to understand from this ayah, that if somebody is in deep trouble, he would look for someone who may console him, who may understand his pain and his difficult time, and this will help him to some extent. But in the hellfire, these people who were helping each other in the world, and they were helping each other to fight against the believers and to work against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His messenger, will be enemies to each other, and they will not have any well-wishers in the hellfire, and they will be thinking that the other nations will get double punishment than us, and this hatred among themselves in the hellfire will increase the punishment and pain and suffering of the hell. So let's pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us true understanding of Quran. Oh Allah, connect us to the truthful people in the world, and also raise us with the truthful people in the hereafter. Ameen. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.